session 3 of our Echoes of the Hidden Star campaign. Right, before we get going into where we were, who would like to give me the update from last session? Who wants to run that through with me? While I go and grab something very quickly.
Laying in bed. That was my session last time.
What we got?
We were shipwrecked, and the captain wanted us to find supplies. So we went towards the edge of like where the trees were, ended up getting trapped within those trees, and then ended up fighting a giant tree. I actually hit it. I managed to hit it. Oriana got the kill, and there was a medallion embedded within it.
Indeed.
Yes.
Anything else?
Not from what I've got in my nose.
So you got the medallion,
Mhm.
and then what happened after you got the medallion?
The tree just kind of like evaporated.
Tree evaporated. Excellent. And where did you head back after that?
Back towards the beach.
Headed towards the beach.
Yes.
And then everyone went to take a nap, was that right?
No, I stayed on watch.
You stayed on watch.
Yes, I did.
Indeed you did. Right, for that, you can have, hopefully, a dice of inspiration for this session.
Oh!
Callum reminded me after last session. So that's a good playback to that. So that's good. Excellent. So fantastic. So before we pick up where we left off, which was our last one being awake was our wonderful paladin taking watch for the evening. Our witch half passed out on the sand on the sack of potatoes, and then a few others just conked around the fire, just chilling out, which was really good. There was the sudden moment of nets being thrown over people, and you were the only one left, and you started to shout back.
Yes.
Okay, we will pause there for the moment, and I'm going to ask our resident witch to remain at the table for this very moment in time. Thank you very much. Obviously, you can all watch this back and do your homework, but evidently, but at the same time, going to get a little one-on-one going. Dun, 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 dun. Right. So for our resident witch, so I tried to find something relatively huge, but instead I didn't. I found something. So in regards to your staff,
oh brilliant,
that is forever in your left hand, I believe.
That's it, yeah.
And your iron ring.
Oh, awesome! Thank you
there's
very
the
much.
iron
Look
ring.
at that.
And that iron ring is, of course, it can.
Yeah.
It holds the soul of Clem,
Yeah.
your betrothed partner, and it's it's made of iron.
Yep.
Which I think we know is it has somewhat of a negative impact on witches. However, the soul that is bound within that ring kind of controls the ability of that ring to cause you any harm. But the staff, of course, it's been conjured as your personal self has changed after the passing of Clem. And some would say, in some instances, the soul of Clem passes through your body to the staff in some way, shape, or form. But that will become more clearer as we go into the session, or at least through this campaign.
Yeah.
But these are features that are quite on your person, so people would know that these are your things, and that never leaves your hand.
No, exactly.
So that's one part of it. It never leaves your hand, or your grip, should we say, which is going to be quite funny how I envisaged the next passage of things happening.
Excellent.
Which is good. Right, now for our Morrigan, our resident witch, I am, so that's your bit done. If I may ask, if you could ask our resident fighter, Arena, to step up for me.
Nice one,
Thank you very much. I have a lot of fun trying to play with the microphone here, so if it is too quiet, Alice, let me know. Thanks for watching. Hello, Orena, our resident fighter. So, we had a brief discussion when we was first setting up the characters about your character, and though I wouldn't walk around with a giant rust blade to come down here, what I do have is what we discussed was a pouch, which I'm going to say is a pouch of it's the pouch of the Ever Bloom, and in this, once per day, it never runs out of seeds. It never runs out of seeds. Once per day, if you give someone one of these seeds, they will be able to heal, and keep this in here for this sake, that much damage, that much health. All right, so that is them taking that seed. Another benefit of that is if you plant a seed in any place or location, because of your farmer background and you're working along that farm, wherever you plant a single seed, it will always grow. And that can be something for your benefit. And it will grow into whichever flower you deem, or tree, or whatever kind of foliage you wish it to be. But no matter what, wherever you plant that seed, it will always grow. And yeah, once per day, you can give anyone a single seed or that bottle, and it will allow them to heal that much. And you get to I'm going to let you determine the taste of these seeds. So you can tell them if it's going to be bitter, sweet, or sour. So yeah, so you can decide on that. But I think that plays homage to your character and its background, and you would always have that pouch on your side, and it never runs out. So that is, for now, that's the main part of that. I couldn't do the sword because, as I said, I'm not going to walk down the street with a ginormous sword in my back, as much as I really wanted to, but just in case. But we know about that blade, and that blade was your mother's.
Yes.
And more about that blade will become clearer as we go through the campaign, because it will hold a very special part through this story. So please bear that in mind. And for now, that's your gift, or say that's your item, that's your personalised item. If you wouldn't mind sending up our, I can't remember who she is. The one with the sea beast.
I was going to say, well, I remember it's Dragonborn.
Yes, our wonderful Dragonborn
Yes.
with the sea beast. I have a very special gift for her.
Beautiful. I'll try and write down. And let's see if I remember everything.
If you need, I can ping you it. Honestly, it's no problem at all. It's actually handy because I think Alice's stuff hasn't actually turned up yet, which is interesting. Sorry for keeping walking up and down the stairs. So we had obviously a little discussion before we even kind of got going, when we had our initial character creation session, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I kind of drew something that would be like your item. So I do actually have, it's not in a black box yet. I couldn't find the black box, but we do have compass. I have tried to draw in pencil what I discussed with you. So on the inside, I wanted to drill a hole, but then I didn't want to. I didn't trust myself. And it does still have the initials on the bottom of what we discussed as well, which was SW. You don't know what SW is at the moment. And this compass, like Captain Jack Sparrow, doesn't point north. But it does have a really funky thing of that. What you've noticed, being with your kind of background of the sea, is as you hold this up, that circle is like almost like a spyglass for you, and you can mirror that line with the horizon. But it also turns as the day goes, so you know if you was to hold that up and it was along the horizon, you would know if it's going to be night or day at any given point. For now, that is going to be your item. And yeah, that will probably play a very huge part. as we delve into this campaign. But for now, I think that's really cool, and it also gives me time to find the box that I really want to put it in. I tried to actually have a look for some of the black faux to try and make a box myself, but I've struggled to find some at the moment.
Have you looked on Amazon?
I didn't really. I know I've got some lying around. That's the thing, and I know I've got it from like some old box lids that I think we've had before with the storage units, but it's just like trying to figure out where they are. But I'll find them. But yeah, so for now, that's the item, and that will become really more apparent as we go forward. And that's the giving session part of this over. So I don't know if you want to shout everybody back up, or I can go grab them. I'll go grab them. You say that.
Right, you wee scallywags, up you come.
Excellent. Sorry about all the running up and down. I think that's probably going to be about it for the moment with the running up and down the stairs. So awesome. Okay. So obviously you all know what you have. It is entirely up to you whether or not you share this information with the group of people that you do know, because you've been together for a while. Obviously yours is quite prominent because you're stuck with it and stuck to it. And everyone else, the only other thing I was really going to buy was literally a bag of potatoes to bring in for the session, but I thought if we had to keep bringing a bag of potatoes in every session, so yeah, either way, it's quite fun. So we will pick up now where we left off, which was nightfall, and our resident paladin was taking watch, and she shouted to wake up to alert everybody, by which point was already too late for most of you. I'm going to ask our paladin, here comes the dice rolls, I'm going to ask first of all for a dexterity saving throw.
Oh dear. Okay.
With disadvantage.
3.
Trying to get you to use that inspiration.
So with a 3, what you saw in front of you when someone tried to, when you tried to use your arms to kind of avoid, and then you shouted out, which was already too late. You didn't see a smaller figure at your feet. It managed to grab your feet and basically pull you down, and you've basically been tied up into a net. Your sea beast. Is that something that is summoned, or is that just something that's always with you? Is that like a pet, so to speak?
Yeah.
It is a pet. Okay. Just so that I know. For
Yeah. I just have a question. Am I with the whole group?
yes. Yeah. You've been with everybody. I think I rolled a few things for you last time, and you aided or helped in some of the scenarios. Just because there was a combat session, I knew that you'd come in, and probably had you actually used some kind of storm, you would have actually helped me out rather than them. So actually, it's probably best you weren't here, because the fire helped in the situation that the rain would have then caused more beneficial effects for myself, being that it was a giant tree. So that was good. Not so good for our paladin or the rest of you at the moment. I'm actually going to say, if possible, could you actually all make me a Constitution saving throw? And let me know your numbers.
11.
16.
18, 14, 4,
11.
and 11. Okay. So the 4, you get knocked unconscious. You
Hi,
are
cleric.
you are
See you later.
You are in this net. You are unable to move. You're almost prone, but you've been tied up by these dark figures that you can't really make anything. You've been knocked out. Everything was 10 and above, wasn't it? So 11, 14, 16, 18. Okay. So for the 11 and 14, you get pulled from your feet, of course, as you've tried. As you get pulled from your feet, you kind of go face down into what I'm going to say is the jaggedy rocks, but you don't quite hit the rock, but your vision is blurred. And then in that moment, you quickly get nabbed by 2 other individuals that wrap up your net rather tight. In a similar instance to yourself, you never saw or heard this coming, and you've tried to quickly free yourself after hearing the quick shout, but before you know it, you're wrapped up in a net. They've tried to hit you, so you're a bit dazed, but you do see that there's about 8 figures around just where they've captured everybody, and then you kind of slowly drift out of consciousness. And similar to yourself, they've knocked you on the head as well, just for safe measure after they've pulled you to the ground. For the 16, our resident witch is used to falling to the floor, usually drunk and usually blurry. They have tried to hit you in the head, but you've managed to kind of stop it with your staff. You've kind of auto-react, right? You're not stealing my potatoes. Your staff is it, but you've kind of woken up in a bit of a daze after day drinking, and kind of what's kind of going on. Could you make me one more Constitution save, please?
Yep.
This time with disadvantage.
2.
So whilst you've stopped the first one coming in, what you haven't seen is the one behind you and has managed to knock you out with what felt like a wooden club.
Yeah.
And you are now unconscious, and sadly you've let go of your potatoes.
Someone's going to die. Someone's going to die.
Hey, it doesn't mean they're not coming with us. And with the 18, I'm going to say that your sea beast has picked up something that's trying to trigger you awake at the moment. And it kind of tried to, I'm going to say slithered. Would that probably be the right way to describe it? It kind of slithered toward having sensed something nearby. And as that's caught your guard, what they've not seen is, or what it hasn't seen is that there was a couple of figures behind you. And they have tried to hit you around the head. Could you make me a Constitution saving throw? Constitution saving throw. Can you make me procrastination saving throws, please? With disadvantage, please. From not seeing them.
Oh no.
That was a nat 20, so 13.
13. I'm going to say they've managed to hit you twice. Just kind of making you blurry, but you know that there was at least 4 that have tried to kind of capture your beast. In fact, could you make me a save for your beast as well, please?
With my same
Yeah, we'll run it with yours, yeah.
12.
12. Okay, I'm going to say that they've managed to kind of lure it in, to like think that it's going to win, and then they've managed to kind of trap it, and managed to capture the sea beast. All while hearing this, you start, as you are all now entrapped in these nets, you start to hear almost like a drum beat. It's like a...
I think we're being sacrificed.
And as
Sounds like it, doesn't
I think we're being sacrificed.
as that kind of drumming lingers in your ears, you all kind of are passing out at this point after all being knocked around the head with wooden clubs. With that, they have managed to, and the way that I'm picturing this is, with Morriga being a witch and this long staff that she has, they couldn't quite tie her up in the net, but what they've managed to do is actually manage to tie her feet to her own staff, and they are basically carrying her along with her staff, almost like...
Like sort of suckling pig.
Yeah.
Just carry me along.
Because they couldn't pry the staff from your hands,
Yeah.
so they have just decided to, rather than
That's
fight
one
it,
strong grip, mate. That's one strong grip.
rather than
You should see the grip I got on the potatoes.
Rather than try to pry this from your hands, they have used it to their advantage and decided you're knocked out.
Yeah.
Tied your feet to your staff and carry you deep into the wood. Some time passes and you start to. I'm gonna start. Could you all roll me a d20? No save, just a d20.
12.
I'm really rolling poor today. 5.
You need to sort yourself out.
Yeah, I know.
18,
9.
We are all
Nine.
over this.
19.
19. Okay, so the 18 and 19s. 19, you kind of like come to consciousness first. You realise that you are deep in what seems to be the forest. There's a bit of time that's passed for the sake that you can start to see the sunrise just kind of peel through the trees. As you're waking up, your hands are bound behind a wooden post, and as you look up, could you make me a perception check, please? And same with the witch as well, please, if you could.
14.
14.
17.
17. As you wake up, you notice the witch opposite you is also bound, but this instead of like what you feel is like a tree trunk behind you, they have managed to dig Moriga's staff into the ground, knowing that it's not going anywhere. But they've also bound her hands behind her. But you both come to sort of to light. And with the small bit of light that's coming through, you can see in front of you that there is a rather large stone, what I would only describe as a really worn down temple, with vines growing all over up the side of it. There's cracks in the rocks, and it's rather tall. You can't quite see, with the vision that you probably have at the moment and the sun not being quite up fully, you can't see the top of the temple just yet. But you do see your companions kind of in the same position you are, but they're not currently awake. There are a lot of moving figures. You can still hear the what sounds like footsteps of everyone walking around. You can't quite capture what they're hearing, but they're very low, deep voice mumbling. Not a language you've heard, but you can still hear like the rumbling around of these many bodies walking around. Anything that you'd like to do at this point? With your hands bound behind these staff and what feels like a tree trunk.
So we're facing each other.
Yeah, you can see each other and everyone else. I'm going to say, you know what? Is it in like this?
Right, okay.
In like this.
Right.
And for for Onyx's sake as well, they have managed to entrap her in a small cage fit for a fairy. Sorry, Alice. But because she would be unable to fit through the net, so they have seen this.
Yeah.
And in fact, actually, Damien, as you are our resident cleric, and you have some insight into this, would you run me a history check?
What's my history?
A 7. As you are coming to consciousness, you recall on the beach a similar sound that you heard just before you went into the woods. You can't quite catch if it's that, but you do know that you've started to hear these whispers before, but you can't quite make out what it's saying. And then I'd say at that point, you start to wake up and you notice you're also bound to a tree in what looks like a sacrificial circle, with all of your colleagues / friends / party. You both are still unconscious at the moment.
Where's the sea beast?
The sea beast?
Can we see the sea beast?
Maybe a perception check.
Nah, I'm not seeing anything.
What was
What do you want to know? That was a 3.
3? No, you don't see it.
She's still got those beer goggles on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. So Morga's just composing herself.
Mhm.
First thing, I can see Onyx, because if you're saying we're in this kind of circle like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
Onyx is next to me as such. That's my closest.
So I'm going to say, because she's in a cage,
Yeah.
she's not on the ground. She's actually been tied, like almost like to a thing. She's further up.
Oh, they didn't tie her to my
No,
staff then?
no, didn't touch your
that's-
staff.
no, that's kind of.
That's just you.
Couldn't they just prop on my potatoes? Just sit on there.
You know, maybe another perception check or investigation, whichever.
Oh, God's sake. Yeah, you spoke halfway through. I'm going to re-roll. No.
Sure.
No, that was a 7. That was it.
Investigation or perception?
It doesn't matter.
Are they both the same?
Yeah.
Okay. You think you see a small sack somewhere.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It looks familiar, but the light is very low,
Right,
so you
okay.
can't see anything yet.
Okay. So, I'm really sorry. I forgot your name. You got a power fight, haven't you? You can mimic, can you?
Echo.
Echo, cool. You want to have a go?
Drums. You start hearing drums.
Quick.
I'm gonna cast my echo. I don't know how to do it. I think it's just the same as outside of a battle. I think.
Drums are getting
Again,
louder.
louder.
Don't do that.
The drums again louder.
Don't do that.
Can you both make me, and Damien, can you both make me investigation or perception checks whilst these drums are going on?
21.
21.
Bingo.
Oh no, the dice. The pressure of the drums.
That's it.
18.
18.
Oh.
11.
11. You can re-roll if it was on the. It went on the floor, so feel free to re-roll it.
I'll take that 11.
It'll take the 11. Okay, sure. I would say at this moment as well, you do start to notice these two start to come into consciousness, as well as Onyx. In fact, let me roll for Onyx. Nah, let's not roll for Onyx. There was a 7. As these drums become louder, you start to see that the space around the gaps of where these wooden stakes are become more dark as these figures start to approach.
How big is the circle we're in?
I'm gonna say, let's say it's about, I'm gonna say 15 feet across, and you're kind of like then going in a circle around it. And these individuals, these figures have just basically made a circle around this circle of stakes. No, there's no fire in the middle just yet, don't worry. No one's being sacrificed yet. Your hands are freed.
Oh.
They have just cut you loose.
Oh.
The drums are still slightly drumming in the background. And an old figure, an old, I'm going to say, human on it, sort of a human-like figure walks through into the centre. And whoever would like to, would someone like to roll me a perception check, just
Oh, let me
to
check
see
my
how
perception.
how good this guy looks.
I have a +3 on perception.
I have a +3 as well.
I'm +6.
No, go on.
Go on, cleric.
21.
21. This old figure, I would say he's probably about 4'10", not very tall. Comes walking into the centre, and he's also kind of mumbling under his words. He's going, and then he casts his eyes around at every single one of you, and then he bows, and he moves his arms from being together and puts them clasped or clapped, and he bows his head again. And then as he does this action, all the figures that were around have just helped you all up from being on the ground. He goes to talk. He's trying to find the right words to speak, to apologise. He's bowed, If anyone would like to make an insight check, feel free.
Oh, +3 on insight.
+4.
I have +3. Don't mind if you.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Would you like someone else to do it?
Anyone can. Happy for everybody.
Yeah,
Happy for
please.
anybody to.
Can't.
18.
Yep.
18. With our paladin taking a look at this man, knowing that he's just let you go after capturing you, you get a sense he means no harm. And you feel that in the way that he's bowed. He has ordered his friends to basically let you go. You can share that with the group, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And he catches your attention and he says, in the words that he tries to conjure up, I am so sorry. Forgive me and my tribe. For we do not have many visitors to this land. This land has been forgotten in time and to the wider world. None of the tribe, of which we call ourselves the followers of the sun, none of us have seen so many visitors in such a short space of time than in the past full cycles. And when he means cycles, he means months. The moon as it goes round and it becomes a new moon. He leans on you because he senses your passion for the righteousness. In fact, yeah, he does. He feels it. You ooze the goodness.
Not on the ship, apparently.
And as well as that, you can also see one of them has untied the cage that Onyx was in. Let's not leave her up there in the cage. She can come floating down. And he says, and he kind of shows you as the sun comes up a little bit more. He shows you to the entrance of the temple. He says, we are forbidden to enter, for the visitor recently has cursed this temple, and my tribe will not enter through fear of losing themselves. And what he does, he actually, he trips on his way to show you to the temple, and on him tripping, you can sense. In fact, everyone make me a quick perception check.
14.
14,
14.
17.
17, 8,
20.
20. Nice. With that, I'm going to say you all see and hear, the second he trips, he thinks his tribe around him think that he was just literally pushed and under attack, and you see these golden spears with black obsidian heads all of a sudden all just pointing towards you. You know this guy's the leader, right? He's wearing this wonderful gold helmet, and he trips, and as he trips, he tries to catch his helmet, and then he kind of orders his men to no. None of them can understand anyone else but him. He has this kind of aura and language, and you all can't hear them, and they will not respond to anyone other than him. He asks kindly if you would help assist with the curse that's upon this temple, and he will. You know what? Yeah, he will. He will share the with you all, and he will guide you all around the temple to the side. And on the side of the temple, there is what looks like, I'm going to say, of like caveman scriptures of times of the past. He's going to share the knowledge with you that his people, many moons ago, had come across this land that had been detached from the mainland because it was touched by the sky, and they decided to pay homage to this light that touched the earth, and gave them fruit, gave them safe passage, gave them a life. And they built this temple, this shrine, to pay their respects to what it had given them. There was no war, there was no fight, there was no disease, there was no nothing. It was a free land for this tribe of people, and they didn't know what to call themselves, so they decided to name themselves the followers of the sun, because they thought it was the sun that provided them this. So he points to the temple, and he describes that when their tribe has tried to enter before, it will not let them. They cannot. It has been cursed by this visitor. He not know who this person was, but it is clear that there is something that needs to be done. And so he's going to ask Onyx. And Onyx obliges with a 9. Onyx is going to attempt to fly down. Being the rogue that she is, she'd be very dexterous. So she's gonna. I've got her stats here. She's going to see the opening of the temple, and she's just gonna go in and see if the temple will allow her to enter. And she's going to make a dexterity saving throw. Aren't you, Alice? Oh, she's nailed it. That was a 19 plus there, the rest of it. Yeah, she's nailed it. So she's in. And you see Onyx go into what looks like a staircase that goes down. No sounds, no pain, no hurt. She's gone in. And I'm going to say that she shouts back that it's okay. The leader of the tribe, he goes to shake the paladin's hand. Do you reciprocate? Yeah? He shakes your hand, and he says, "My name is Hakiwu." And for those who want to know how to spell it, it's Hakuwei. And then he is going to almost give you like the arm shake, like this.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to bow, and he's also going to say thank you. And then Onyx is going to very kindly call you all down the stairs, and of which I would probably say you want to go down there because all the tribe are still standing behind you with their spears pointed around you until you basically go down there.
Being forced.
You're being kindly, aggressively forced down the stairs.
Where's my potatoes, man?
Give me a perception check.
Oh no. 6.
6. You thought you saw the sack near a kind of a stove or a pot, but it looked rather empty.
I'll drink because I'm depressed. Don't make me even more depressed. This ain't going to go well for the group.
Hey, this could be some really lovely jacket potatoes when you come out of this. If you come out of this.
Where's my sea serpent?
Make me a perception check.
Oh no. There's me banging about my spuds and they're taking your actual sea serpent.
23.
23. Your sea serpent, you can't see him. Even with a 23, you can't see him at the moment. I'm going to say with that, you ask the leader where your serpent is, and he's going to say, he's going to come up to you and say, "We noticed that we injured him, and we are healing him in the nearby tent, and they're taking good care of him. And it was very kind of your friend to have a very big sack of potatoes. We are so grateful for that it's a very secret ingredient to a lot of things that we have here. And that will come in very handy for healing your sea serpent, for which we do deeply apologise."
Oh,
At least
I'm
they
going to
go
run through
to
his temple. I want to kill
cause.
something. That's it.
Hey, your potatoes have gone to save my sea serpent.
So with that,
Wow.
Well, I will remember that.
She'll remember her potatoes.
Anytime you have potatoes, you better watch your back.
So with that, if everyone's following Onyx, you can probably see that she's flown down, and she said that everything is safe, and you all follow suit.
Don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Not really, no.
Not right now. Not with the small tribe of individuals with these wonderfully long golden black obsidian spears pointing directly towards you all. Yay! So, as you head downstairs of this temple, and you all head down, could you all roll initiative for me?
Oh.
Onyx lied. Said it was safe.
Hey, this
Safe.
Onyx.
Why am I
is
rolling so
11.
good for initiative?
Oh, plus initiative. Are you
20.
20? Are you going to be first again?
Somehow, yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me just get Onyx is up. This is inspiration. I think it's plus 3, so she has 14. Right. Excuse me. Let me get my wee bit of paper. Oh. Okay. Oh, funny enough, I forgot to actually hand these out. Just before I forget. So if you want to just take one and pass them along, I'll take one actually for Onyx.
Oh.
These are your safe passages
Oh, I don't
on the
wanna
flying
open it.
frigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to open it.
They are everybody's letters from the king. You will know what these are because he handed them to you at the beginning. For safe passage across the flying frigate. Let me get some initiative orders going on in here. So what do we get? We've got. Let's go this way. 10. Arena. 10. Octavia.
Oh, I'm going last.
Righto. What did you get?
2.
You got a 2. Of course you did. We're having so much fun with our paladin.
How did you get
Damien.
that?
20.
20.
-1 on it.
Damien's 20. Excellent. Morrigan.
16.
16. Nice. Onyx was 14. And Dravixia.
13.
13. Okay. So we have Damien going first. Then we have Morrigan going second. Onyx is third. Dravix is fourth. Arena is fifth. And our wonderful paladin right at the back, doing the righteous thing and watching everyone else fail.
You can't make it though.
Excellent. Right. Now, I'm not going to draw a map for this one. This is all going to be wonderfully imaginative based, although I have drawn a map. So I have drawn it because I was drawing it last night and I thought, yeah, this is going to be fun. So you get down the stairs in quite a dimly lit room, and behind you, you hear as the stone, like the stone door kind of closes in on itself. So there's no way out. You can't get out now. You're in the temple. This is fun.
Dungeon!
You are in a dungeon in a game called Dungeons and Dragons. And before you, you see 3 stone doors.
Ooh.
Each door has a symbol.
Oh no.
There is a door on the left that has the symbol of the sun. There is the door in the middle that has a warrior holding a spear. And there is a stone on the right which has a skull with vines wrapped around it. What would you like to do as a party?
Door number what?
Go
What
straight over. Door 1. I'm walking.
You going over to the door?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm bad mood. That's it.
Someone took his potatoes.
Yeah.
Someone took his potatoes.
I'm
To
sobering
save
up.
my serpent!
I'm sobering up, which Witches are good.
So, would you say, so bear in mind, I'm going to do this in initiative order.
Oh.
So,
Lead the way, clearly.
it's more a case of if you had anything to discuss as a party. So, cleric will have the first choice on the doors, but you feel free to discuss anything as you see. And I'm going to put a timer on this.
Oh,
God.
no.
Which door?
Right, you've got
We've got
spear,
the
which
sun.
is going to say fight.
Well, then
Skeleton
it follows
fight.
off the sun.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they built the temple because they were, respecting the gift that they received,
But then, could that be a red herring?
could throw you off, couldn't it?
Yeah.
How much time we got?
Could be the more scary one that we should be going through, which is a skull and vines.
Maybe, but that could just be instant death.
Could be, yeah. They could all be instant
They
death.
could all be instant death. He's rolling, and that's making me nervous. Got anything to say, Fire?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Anything from the cleric?
I don't mind which one is always 8.
Any spells we can use at all?
You hear a click.
Oh,
Should we just choose a door? Just go for
what
it.
clicked?
Did a door unlock?
You suddenly start hearing a.
Oh, something's still in the room. Open the door.
Sand has started to fill the room.
We're gonna get very
Door-
sound.
Door number 1, 2 or 3, guys?
2, go with 2.
2.
The spear. Yeah.
Spear. Yeah. Alright. I think it's that one.
I panicked, okay? I panicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you going up to the door?
Yeah, I guess so, because I'm going first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go up to the door. I'm going to need you all to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, hell no.
As you go and hit the door, all doors open, but this door releases arrows from all across the sides of the room. A 12 beats it.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
Oh, 18.
10. 10.
Okay. So if a 12 if you beat it, you 12, you manage to dodge out of the way of the arrows very, very quickly. If you got lower than a 12, you are going to have to take 1d4 of piercing damage. And I'm going to roll that. Just the one. Was that our paladin get hit again?
Yeah.
The righteous path is always the most painful path. Okay, but with that, the door, all 3 doors do open. And you'll notice the door on the left with the sun symbol was in fact the correct door, and you managed to walk through.
The what one?
The sun.
I said that.
You said the fucking middle one.
You did. I panicked. I said he come first.
Okay, right. Damien is done. Okay, so as you all walk through, and before this room starts to kind of fill up with sand, you all head through this kind of narrow passageway, big enough for all of you to fit down. But as you walk down, the flames are lit. They're lighting the way down, and as you go down, you're presented with 3 more doors.
Oh god.
These doors do not have symbols. They just have numbers. 3, 7, and 4.
Are they actually physical? Are they real numbers or are they Roman numerals?
Maybe a perception check.
Oh.
No, in fact, that's going to be
Can't be that
cruel. That's going to be cruel. No, they are in scratchings. So they are just. You can see 3 scratches on one. You can see 7 scratches on the middle, and you can see 4 scratches at the end. And to make this decision, who is second? That's our witch. You're up next
Oh, yeah.
for the decision-making
You're all
process.
in trouble, aren't you? Right. I'm going to just shout to the team. Who heard the story? How many moons did the guy wait? I can't remember.
What?
What?
There's time, the old fella, or little fella, told the story, and there was so many moons between when it was.
4.
It was 4.
It was 4.
And if we got, there was a door for 4 in it, was there?
Yeah.
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 Right.
There's a door for
Thank
4.
you.
You're going to touch door number 4.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay. As you touch door number 4, the door to the passage back closes. You hear a click, and sand starts to fill the room. You see 3 glowing symbols on the door. These symbols are the sun, the moon, and the star. They are slightly moving. What you need to do is you need to put these in the right order.
With the story, did the man say anything else? Can anyone remember?
He said that the sun touched. He said about moons. Did he say anything about stars?
Not that I can remember. Someone should have wrote this down.
I've got a very very basic thing. I just put land became detached. Blessed
The
by
sand is now at your
shine.
ankles.
Right, well, this is going to have to be done. Good. Have to put them in order somehow. So let's go.
Moon, sun, star.
Going to take that.
Another hole opens and more sand starts to pour through. But
Sun, moon, star?
the moon symbol remains still.
So wait, where did I say it was?
He said
Moon, sun, star.
Moon,
So
sun, star.
flip the star and flip the
Yeah.
sun.
The sand stops, the doors open,
Beautiful.
and it's the middle door that was the correct door. And then you follow that path around. Yay!
7.
7. Oh, it was only theory. I thought it was off the story.
And as
Good
you
theory though. Good theory.
3 and 4 make 7.
Where's the 3 coming from?
The doors was 3, 7, 4.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, yeah.
So you'll go round. This one kind of, as you kind of feel it, it's not straight. It kind of leads you round a little bit of a bend, almost following sort of like the way that the temple looked. It didn't feel like it went that deep, but heaven knows this is underground at the moment. Kind of follow around, and once again you are met with 3 doors. Right, Morrigan, you're done.
Yep.
Who's next? Oh, it would be Onyx. I'm going to save Onyx. I'm going to move Onyx to the bottom. It would be Dravixa's choice. So, as you walk up to these doors, these are still stone doors, or they look like stone tablets, except these doors do not have any symbols whatsoever. These have no indication as to what could possibly be lying behind them. They are just doors, and you hear the sudden dropping of the doors behind you, and you are presented with these 3 doors.
Just 3 blank doors.
3 blank doors.
Could it be like a texture thing, maybe a carving hidden in it or something?
I don't
Are
know,
they
'cause
coloured?
he touched door
Are they
4.
always
Exactly the
all
same.
look exactly the same?
All
No
look
coloration.
exactly the same.
Do they smell different?
Alright, go up to the door and sniff it. Go on.
Make me a investigation or perception. And if anyone else would like to make an investigation or perception at this time, please
Yeah,
feel
I'll
free.
do it. I'll do it.
12.
12.
Was it perception
is this
or
is this
investigation?
Yeah.
a smell?
I think
Yeah.
I've done it.
It smells like stone. All
Hey,
3
it's
of them
a valid
smell
question.
like
What
stone.
did you get?
24.
It's a valid question.
24.
Yeah.
Is that perception or investigation?
Perception.
Perception. You look round and there's a skeleton sitting there in the corner. And then as you move your head around on the other side, you can see there's a very small chest, a very tiny chest, just down there on the right side.
Don't be suspicious.
You're gonna go open it?
Huh?
You're gonna go
Well, yeah, why not?
Maybe we
I'll
should
go-
get the paladin to
Hey, nah, fuck you.
Yeah, go on.
That's our righteousness
Yeah, I'll open it then.
There is a click. You start to hear sound.
Oh,
Filling the
you
room.
open it!
Why did you tell me to open it?
No. So you open the chest.
No,
You open the chest. Okay. There is a potion in there of healing, which is really cool. And a coin. Just a random coin. It's not any kind of currency. It's just a coin.
Does the door have a coin slot? Does any of the doors have a coin slot?
Have a look. Give it a roll. Give it a perception. Can you find a coin slot?
That's got. Sorry. 7.
It's too dimly lit for you to easily see a coin slot.
I want to check the skeleton out.
You're gonna check the skeleton out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a skeleton. He's gone.
Nothing, no possessions, nothing.
No.
Damn, wasted.
What was the roll?
19.
19. I'd say the way that the skeleton looked, the way he is, he's leaned up against the wall, so that if he was leaning, all the doors are down there, and his arm with a 19, I'd say it's kind of as if he's trying to point.
Yeah.
To
which one?
Not the one that he's next to.
So the middle one. Cool.
What's the roll on the? Sorry, so what was it?
Oh, mine was the same as Kira's.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably too dimly lit to see any coin slots on these doors.
Should we just go for the middle one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for
Or
the
is
middle.
it going to be the right hand side one? Because so far it's been left hand side middle.
I think you're looking a bit too deep into
I probably am. We'll go middle.
Go middle. Solves the riddle. It opens. There is nothing that happens. It was the correct door.
Yay.
And you walk through. It's really annoying. I've got one really cool mechanic that none of you have tricked yet. So,
I'm kind of grateful.
Just wait, it will happen to you.
for the moment. So as this door opens, the sand stops, and you make your way through a passage to the next room, of which you then hear the door behind you click. It stops, and then you're in this small, dimly lit area. These doors have symbols this time. Sorry for your one, Trevixa.
I think you've done your bit dirty there.
I did. However, the side behind that is that there was a body on the one on the left. There was a chest on the one on the right. So the middle was the kind of the giveaway of there was something on that side. There was something on this side, and then there was nothing in the middle. So it was like there was
on the other side.
So on these doors, you see on the left you see a symbol of a snake. In the middle, you see what looks to be like a bird of prey. And on the far right is a symbol of what looks like, for you to know, as a caterpillar. You hear the door click shut behind you. And as you're in here, you hear a click and...
Yay,
And
more
on this
sand.
side, we have Orenna to choose.
Snake, bird, and caterpillar. What do we think?
No idea.
A second click.
Oh dear.
More sand pours into this room.
Oh no.
I'm getting real tired of the sand.
There's
all in
just
my
sand in my boots.
Why are you looking at me?
Just like, there's just nothing. We all
Is
get
there
stumped on this
anything
one?
around the room? Can I do a perception check?
Sure.
17. Probably good.
Lots of sand.
Oh, yay!
And 3 doors.
3 more doors.
More sand fills into the room.
I think you might just have to
Just,
pick a door.
the only one I could think of is a bird because
Yeah,
they
'cause-
follow the sun.
Yeah, bird. We'll go bird.
going to the bird. Right.
But knowing him, it's probably a snake because of all the fucking sand.
So you touch the door with the bird on. It starts to open. Can you all make me
Sorry.
a Constitution saving throw with 13 being the number?
10.
13.
That's the
20.
second. Nat 20.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. 6.
10.
10.
18.
18. Okay. So those that beat it, you manage to shake off what is essentially a gas that has just started to fill the room. For those that failed, you're going to make me 1d6, and you're going to start to feel really drowsy, and you're also going to have disadvantage on your next check. So in fact, where's my? I ain't got 6. Does anyone want to roll a 6 for themselves if they didn't make it? 1. 5. So you take that in damage. You're going to start to fall asleep or feel really drowsy. But the door does open, and you'll notice that it was the caterpillar door that was the door that was left. And as the door opened, you heard what sounds like wood snap. And from what you can see, your steps to the next room is a wooden plank bridge. And as you open the incorrect door, some of these planks have snapped, which I have drawn here. And as you start, what you do notice is that the sand doesn't stop filling this room. So you're going to all have to make me athletics or acrobatics of 12, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to have to make me 4 of these checks to get across this bridge. And in the order that I'm going to do it is I'm going to have our paladin go next with the 2, and then I'm going to roll. In fact, no, I'm going to roll Onyx first because. Let me check that.
How far are the planks like to get across the gap?
I'm going to say a good between 5 and 7 foot. You're going to need a jump. These aren't stepping stones.
Cool.
This is a big gap. But I'm going to roll. That was. There goes my rubber. That's what she said. Okay, 15. Okay, Onyx has made it across to the first. Definitely makes the second. That's 22. I'm going to say she's going to hold her position there in case anyone needs help. And I'm also going to find my rubber. There it is. So, Octavia's first.
Yes.
Trying to cross the bridge. Make me a athletics or acrobatics, with 12 being the number.
8.
8. Any modifiers to that?
Hmm?
Any modifiers to that?
That's with the modifier.
That's with the modifier. Okay, I'm going to say that you slip and... Okay, I'm going to say Onyx manages to catch you. She had a 16. So she is now holding on to you and helping. And let's... so she's kind of reaching down. She's kind of trying to hold... Very much, she's a foot tall and she's still managing to help you here. She's trying to pull you up. Would anyone like to try and help on their turn? In fact, let's go in turn order here. So then let's go back to Damien. You see the paladin almost fall through a gap in the thing.
Help me, bitch.
You could,
Help me.
if you would like to help, would you like to roll to see if you can help her up?
Suppose I can try and help.
Go on then.
What am I rolling for?
You're gonna. I'll tell you what. Just try. Roll me a. Wouldn't be that. Let's try. Wouldn't be sleight of hand. Give me just. I'll tell you what. Just roll me a 20 with a 12 being the number to give. Because you're not trying to make a jump. You're just trying to help.
7.
7. Okay. I'm going to say you. She's still dangling. You've tried to help, but have got your wires crossed and saw the deep canyon and cavern, and I'm going to say you've now got disadvantage on your next check. That was scary.
Not my fault, I was scared.
Who's next? Let's go. No, it's Morriga next. Morriga, you see all this happening.
Oh,
What's going on?
Ah.
Sand's still filling the room behind you. What's going on?
Right. How we can't see a bottom to this pit, no?
No, it looks like an abyss. Good news is the sand is trickling out the side of it, falling down.
Now this depends on you and how you feel.
It all depends on me.
Could I cast web over this gap? So basically, it's a 20. I can make a 20-foot cube.
Okay.
So it's 20 by 20. So I could even start it just at the planks level and send it down another. Yes, it's web. Yeah.
Okay.
So
to kind of like just support.
Support us all. Just to go across. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was going to be cheeky and I was going to teleport across and just leave everyone there, but
That's 2 electric compounds.
I like some of them. I'm going to keep them with me.
Okay. Sure. Let's go with let's go with the web. So that's 20 by 20. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 planks, roughly between 4 to 7 foot ish apart each. So that would mean it's about. So there would still be a check needed to be done at the end, I would say, but you managed to catch the web for the first 3.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
I'll take
All
that.
right.
I'll take that. Thank you very much.
That's all right. So there's still going to be. So once you've kind of supported everyone in these first 3 steps, I'm going to say that they've got advantage just to make sure that they can make it across the planks.
Yeah.
So everyone, he has basically helped you all get advantage for the next 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th it will be just a straight roll.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then after I've done that, I will teleport across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not going to mess around.
Okay.
That's cheating.
You're over the other side. Okay.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Fantastic. So you see, so Dylan, you almost see like the end is nigh, looking down, and then all of a sudden the web appears, and then would you say that it flashes as you teleport? Would you describe it for us?
Oh no, I misty stepped, don't I? So I just
Oh, okay.
nice
Gone.
gust of dust,
Dust.
and then hello friends.
You can have a drink to celebrate.
Exactly.
I'm just down there like, what the
That's
fuck?
it. Yeah.
Here comes the witch, mate. I thought he was actually going to say, "Can I turn my thing into a broom and fly across?" But
Yeah, I don't know. I think I could do.
it's a staff, right? It's a staff, right? So with that, so you see the witch just misty step across. She's across the other side. Who we got next? We
Come on,
have.
slow pokes.
That's just rude.
We have. Where's the next number? Drixa, you're up next. So these next 3 steps, you could step over these people that are they've managed to get up now. So if you make me the athletics or acrobatics 12 with advantage, thanks to the web underneath supporting.
Oh, I'm not going to need it. 22.
Okay, so you easily make it over the first one. Make me another 2. That was a success. So let's keep it going.
Do I still get the advantage?
Yeah. So for the next 3, or 1.
18.
Yep.
12.
Beats it. So yeah, absolutely. Or you could roll again because you had advantage if you wish. But either way, you're just crossing a plank. Okay. So you have kind of stepped over where everyone. You're kind of you're pushing through everyone because they're like they're taking too much time.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then there's one more to get across, and this one is where you see Morriga standing, almost like rubbing it in that she's made it across, and the wonderful paladin and the cleric at the back there haven't. If you make me one more athletics check or acrobatics, whichever one, just make sure that you get across.
18.
18. Absolutely, you join Morriga on the other side. Fantastic, you're across. Excellent. We have up next. We have Onyx, who already made it past 1, 2, 4.
Good Onyx fly.
Yeah, she's already rolling with advantage.
Oh,
So because of the flying, but she was helping. But obviously the web helped her.
Yeah.
Octavia get up. So that's that. And one more. 15 plus the 7. Yeah, she's made it absolutely fine. She's across. Excellent. Yay! Yeah, Onyx would have been able to fly over that. Absolutely no problem at all. but she just saw them as giant stepping stones and decided, yeah, I'm going to quickly go like ninja style, being the
yeah.
rogue, right?
Parkour.
Yeah, parkour. Hell yeah. Okay, we have.
Fast fingers for nothing.
Arena, it is your turn. So if you could make me the first 3 athletics or acrobatics with advantage, with 12 being the number.
With advantage.
10. Oh dear, step to the first hurdle. So you've kind of seen, I would say you've probably seen everyone else go across and you've decided, yeah, I can make this. And you've slipped on the sand that is still pouring in. Octavia or Damien, would you like to try and grab the fighter as you've seen them kind of slip behind you as you're kind of still standing there on the second step?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Mate, roll me a 20 and we'll see what you get.
7.
7. Are you helping?
Yeah, I'll try.
As the cleric, the helpful cleric? 6 and 7. Okay.
Can I take a
6,
reaction?
Can you take a reaction? I'm going to say you're probably a bit too far unless you're casting something.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, innit?
Yeah?
She's only going to fall into my web anyway.
Showing the point into the web.
No,
It's more a case of how sticky is the web.
How sticky is the web?
How sticky is the web?
I'm going to make this one more rigid and tight, like a net, rather than
Sure.
sticky.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, you two will waste your turn trying to lean down and pick up the net. Would you say that it's just underneath, or was it
Yeah,
like?
it's just underneath. Yeah,
Okay.
it's literally.
Then.
Okay, so I would say where it obviously being webbing as well, she's caught her footing as she's kind of slipped through. Yeah, I'm all right with this. Everyone else has done it. Absolutely easy, no problem. Could you make me a strength check? I want to see if you can get yourself out of this, just out of this really awesomely rigid web.
13.
13, yeah, it was. I had 12 in my head, so yeah, absolutely. So you get your foot up, and you manage to kind of pull yourself up, maybe with no help of the cleric or the paladin. You've sorted this out yourself, and you kind of pushed them aside and just gone, no, I'm going to get across this bridge. Could you make me another athletics or acrobatics check for me with advantage because you're now back up on the plank?
That one's 19.
Yeah, absolutely. You've decided to leave the paladin and the cleric behind. You've made it across the next step.
Aye.
If you could roll me one more with advantage.
22.
Absolutely, yeah, you've decided to, piss in the wind. See you later, guys. And then one more, and this is without advantage, just to make sure that you can make it over the other side. 12 being the number.
17.
17, absolutely, you've made it across with the rest
It
of the
was
crew.
Sam's fault.
So, with our 2 left on the bridge,
Just me and you, dude. Just me and you.
you could lock arms and you could try and get over these next few steps together. So, if you could then try and roll me both athletics or acrobatics with advantage on this one because you're on the second plank. What are you doing?
That's better.
8 was my advantage.
15.
15? Okay. I'm going to say with your 15 and the 8 goes, and with your 15, you've seen that she has, once again, she's not good with these sorts of bridges. Could you make me either a sleight of hand or a strength check?
It's probably a sleight of hand for me, yeah. 15.
15.
16.
16. I'm going to say as you kind of step over to try and get over and jump onto this next plank, you see that our paladin has struggled, and you managed to pull her with you, and just be like, crying out loud in the Lord's name, and you pull her across to this other plank, and I'm going to both need you to once again make me one more athletics and or acrobatics check to see if you make this last jump. And anyone waiting on the side ready,
15!
she's made it.
And 16.
15 and
We
16.
made it!
I'm going to see this is like an
help, but
this is like an 80s movies ending where you've both jumped up and it's frozen at the same time as you've made it across, and it's like
feet stuck in the air.
fantastic, excellent. You've all made it across. As you make it across, the bridge falls. There's no way back, and the sand is pouring out now from the room that you were in. down into this abyss of which you cannot see the very bottom. So it's glad that webbing net was there. Otherwise, these checks could have been a lot more hellish. Nevertheless, you are crossed to the other room. Now, in this room, there are 2 plates on the floor. To your right, large plates. Like if you stood on them, you would recognise that they would trigger something. And on that, you also see almost like a small gate to what is a lift. Now, it's a very small lift. It's not going to fit you all.
And when you say small lift, how small?
I reckon I'm going to say only 4 of you are going to make it down in this lift if you choose to get in it.
Is that including the ferry though?
Including the ferry.
Well, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
I guess we split up then. We're gonna have to. But who's gonna go with who?
Do 3 and 3. Split it
Could
down.
do 3 and 3. I'd say try and split it evenly so the witch has at least got a fighter or a paladin with you. Not that I can do great, but
Ah, it'd be great. Come, we'll have a laugh.
yeah, definitely. All right, then I'll go with witch.
Okay. Would anyone like to make me an investigation check while you're in this place?
What's my
Yes.
investigation?
I've got the +5.
You've got a +5. I have a +3. I'm gonna do
22.
it anyway.
22.
I don't need to. Go on. 17.
17? Okay. I'd say with both those checks, Captain,
Captain.
with both those checks, you both investigate the plates. And with those checks and the above the 20, you can get a feel that these plates trigger the lift.
Oh, witchy, we're gonna have to trigger the lift.
Okay. You would know that 2 of you are going to have to stand on these plates to lower this lift.
To lower the lift and bring it back up, yeah.
So with that, who's triggering the plates?
Could we not fill something with sand and see? Oh no, because the planks have fallen, so we can't even get back to the sand.
But then even if we'd done that, how would we get back up? No one's going to be up
Mm,
at the top to
good point.
take
Right,
some.
we've got 4 can go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
5's got to go because you're the fire. You've got to go because you're the healer. Alright? You're the both. You're the
So
middle.
you're saying that I should go to?
So the party really needs to consist of you 3. I've pretty much already cast my strongest spells already. After this, I'm just going to be throwing out nonsense.
Mine is speak with animals, animal friendship, snare and strike.
But you're a better fire than me, and you can take a bit more of a kicking.
Yeah, and I've got simulation.
So I think you 4 should go, and I should stay with the plates.
Is the fairy going
Is
to
the
be
fairy going to be heavy enough?
Can we not use an echo?
No, so we're going to have to take. Yeah, can we not use your echo?
Ooh.
No.
Ah.
Okay, so we're going to have to take the fairy with us. So you 2 are going to have to stay.
At least then if we
Yeah,
throw
yeah,
it,
no,
go
that's
into
fine,
anything,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
You hear a click.
Right, go on. You 3 and Rogue go.
Yep.
We're going to stand on the
Stand
plate.
on the plates.
Yep.
And you 3 and Onyx enter the lift. Fantastic. And you both stand on the plates. It's almost like I orchestrated this. It's great.
it's almost like he knew how we would
Yeah.
split up.
Yeah.
So you stand on the plates, and these are in the lift. And as you stand on the plates, you lower ever so slowly. You trigger the plates, and the lift drops down. Ever so slowly. It's not like a Tower where it's dropping
Yeah.
you at a rate of knots. Right. As you start to lower into what feels like nothing, small kind of light from dim flames. You aren't going into hell, trust me. It's just a. You start to see the light of a room kind of appear, and as you're lowered into the ground, the room becomes clear and it's open. Feel free to make me a perception check.
Yeah.
7.
15.
I'm gonna change my D20. I'm just gonna change my D20.
Just gonna say you don't know what you don't want to know what I rolled.
Do you roll a 1?
Yeah.
What about Onyx?
Exactly. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting.
15.
15. Okay.
No,
I'm going to roll for Onyx anyway. Just to be sure.
We've set the least perceptive bunch down here, haven't we?
Right, you're good. Onyx rolled 12 plus 4, so 16. So it's great. So between Onyx and the cleric, I'd say let's say the fairy and yourself were at the front of the lift. As it kind of opened up to this room, kind of blurring the vision for the two. As I say, this is a small lift, so that you would have been standing behind these two, even though the fairy is only a foot tall. Maybe she was floating at the point, just in case of.
Floating in the eye line. Just
floating in the eye line, just to like what's in the way? What's down here? I want to see it. Get away. Yeah. The room opens. I'm going to say it looks. I wouldn't say it's a large room, but it's very spacious. And you see there's a similar to the stone doors. It's the same colour. It's kind of a sandy grey colour. It's almost like I wouldn't say a tomb. It almost looks like as if there was a statue here, but it just looks like one of these concrete coffins that have been promoted into the room. As you kind of walk in, it's rather large. It's taller than all of you. And around it, there are four statues with what look to be kind of, I wouldn't say, as you walk in, you notice, in fact, make me, as I'm assuming, are you walking in? As the lift has come to a stop?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Take a moment just to be like, poke your head out.
Poke your head out?
Yeah.
Or having a look around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make me either perception or investigation.
11.
11.
9.
9? 20. Is that investigation?
Perception.
Perception? Okay. With the 20, I would say you see a glisten of light just before your feet of a wire.
Ooh, I'm so glad I didn't step out. Can I
Um,
step over the wire?
Yes.
Cool.
So you step over the wire. Very good. I literally had this here, and the thing was it was a DC 18, so I'm glad you got
so
20.
glad. I said I'd just poke my head out.
As you arrived here, so well done. In fact, just to be sure, if that was a 3, you wouldn't have. Yeah, she wouldn't have triggered it because she was a flying. She would have flown over. But yeah, so you managed to step over what would have triggered something, or you feel like it would have triggered something. But also with that 20, you notice that some of these statues have got, I would say it looks like a shining mirror of some sorts, or some kind of metal on at least 3 of the sides that you can see. The other one is at the back. You can't quite see it, but it doesn't see it from that side of things. But you can see that they've got a little bit of shine on it. And with that 20 as well, after picking up the wire, he was like, where's that come from? Because that didn't look like the flames that had lit the room. And you look up, and there is a small hole of where there is a beam of light shining through. And with that, feel free to have a look around.
Well, from the sounds of obviously having the metal on the statues, it's like we've got to reflect the beam of light.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So, go and investigate the statues, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you all looking at the same statue?
No,
We'll
we'll split off
probably
in like half
split
an
off.
hour.
each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Onyx rolled a natural 20, so she's going to fly over to the one that was at the very far corner, and she's going to report back that this one's got something shiny on it as well, but it's facing the wall. And then she's going to just shout that back. So you all gone to a separate one? At that moment, as you've gone and stood on all three of the statues you're on, Onyx has flown, so she's not triggered anything. You hear clicks.
We've done it again!
And I would say, within the walls, you can start to see sand pour in from each side.
I've already got sand in my boots!
While you guys are here, up at the lift bit, make me a perception check. 19. 20. I would say you can hear that I've got sand in my boots. Echo up what was like the chamber of the lift that has gone up, so you can hear that. Feel free to shout anything else down whilst you're there. But whilst you're there, sand has started to fill the room, and I would say let's go in an order as you're at these statues. Make me quickly one more perception or investigation check.
7.
7.
16.
16. Okay, with the two 16s, I'm going to say where your statues are, and not yours because you're on the other side. You can see the statues that you two are at. You can see that where this stone tomb is in the middle, you can see one reflection point or a similar shining kind of metallic area that is similar to those on the statues that you're standing by. You're looking at this going, nice statue. In fact, Onyx as well. No, nat 1. Oh, poor Onyx. So she's just trying to look into the mirror that's on the statue at the time. She doesn't see anything else at this moment in time. And in doing so is unaware of whatever you guys are doing. What would you like to do now?
Can I see if I can turn the statue?
Sure, make me a strength check. 12. Very good. What way are you turning it?
Whichever way's easiest. Whichever way moves.
Okay. I would say it moves both ways.
Oh.
Right, I'm going to say statue number 1, statue number 2, 3, Onyx 4. So I'm going to put Damien here, Octavia there, Orena here, Onyx here. That's really weird. I was just about to go O, realising that you've all got names that begin with O, so except Damien, which my D does look like an O, so either way, I've just screwed myself over. Okay. So you're trying to turn it. What way? Left or right?
So is the beam of light in the centre of the room?
The beam of light is coming from above. I'm assuming you would have shared that with everybody to say that there's a beam of light coming down, and it is coming down at an angle. But it's an angle at the minute. I'd say it's off centre, and it's coming in. You would probably know this to be sunlight, so it's coming in at an angle. I would say currently off to the. Let's say off to the right. Where we're coming up, yeah. So it's kind of aiming towards. Actually, funny enough, your statue.
Towards my statue.
It's
I'll turn it
towards
towards like the beam of light then.
Okay, so you're turning it.
Yeah.
You're turning it right.
Mhm.
Very good. With that, the statue clicks and locks into place, and your beam of light is now being shone to Orena's statue. Funny, I've got this. I've literally drawn it. So once I'll show you after, just to make sure that I was definitely doing everything I said I was doing. So it's now headed towards your statue. So this beam of light is now headed towards your statue. Which way would you like to turn it? Left or right?
Left.
As you turn it left, you hear another click. More sand starts to pour into the room. Could you make me a strength check with 12 being the number.
Oh.
11. I'm going to say you're going to need help trying to turn this back, and the sand is now at your ankles, making this turn a little bit harder. So you're probably going to need some help or assistance with the next one. And knowing that Octavia has probably just locked this one in, I'm assuming you'll probably shout over and say, give your hand. Okay. Whilst you're probably calling that out, let's go to Damien. Let's see if you can get it left or right.
Turn it right. Let's see what
Turn it right.
happens.
Okay. You hear a similar click, and more sand starts to pour into the room.
I'm sorry!
I swear, if I get sand in my arse crack, I will not be happy.
Could you make me a strength check, with 12 being the number?
Let's see. That's a nat 20.
Nat 20. You're like,
Like that.
watch this.
Just
That went the
snaps
right
it.
way. Just slips it back around, and that nat 20. Yeah, it clicks into place, and you hear the sudden, and it's locked into place. And you also notice as well that the sand starts to retract. Not like the extra hole. The extra hole that made more sand come through shut. And you also noticed that on a similar thing with your one when it locked into place. Right, Onyx.
Strength.
Oh, she rolled an 11 as well. That's tough. She's got a +0 on strength. Sorry, Onyx. Okay, so bearing in mind, I would say she is struggling to move it flying because she's trying to avoid the sand. So she's trying to do that. So she's going to need some help. So she's going to call over to Damien and say, Damien, I'm going to need your help to try and turn this. If you do reciprocate and you walk over, I'm going to ask you to make a strength check with disadvantage as you try and trudge through the sand to get to her.
Okay. That's a waste of a fucking nat 20.
Oh, wow.
Fuck off!
Two opposites?
Yeah, that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
That was really
Excellent.
quite impressive.
Excellent.
Fucking
Nat
nat
20,
20 and
nat
that one.
Awful.
Oh, hail the disadvantage.
When do I use this?
Whenever you want.
You can use it whenever you like. You can even gift it. You can use it yourself. You can do whatever you wish
You
with
have
it. That
to use
is
it
your
tonight, though.
Yes.
inspiration.
Won't let me forget.
So I would say with the unfortunate natural one, you have
Oh,
with the
can I
sand.
give that to you?
You
Can
can.
do it.
Yeah. Take it.
Alright.
Okay.
Dice of inspiration.
Yeah. Alright. It's 12.
Meets it. Excellent. So with this sudden, the paladin has seen you and has just decided to kind of somehow. How does that look like if you're giving him inspiration in this sandy temple?
Spin that bitch.
So
I'm walking over the
he's
sand.
walking
What?
over the. He's walking over to help the fairy, and you're going to say, "Spin that bitch."
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sure. Okay. You guys hear this as well. We've obviously absolutely,
It's a fucking party down here.
we've absolutely no indication as to what's going on
Just
whatsoever.
looking around, yeah.
Yeah. And you just hear, "Spin that bitch."
So
Come up
I
the apples.
hear there's sand in my boots and then spin that bitch.
All from the same
Sounds
paladin.
like having a good time down here, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, with that you do manage to get over to Onyx's statue, and I'm going to say once again, because of how the sand is coming in and is kind of filling up the room slowly, could you make me a strength check, and I will also roll a strength check, and we'll do this together. Oh, it's going to need it.
20.
7. So Onyx unfortunately could not budge this in the sand, but you have managed to just go left or right.
Spin that bitch.
Left this time.
Perfect. Got left written here. So as you spin it left, it clicks, and you see a beam ping across from the other statue. You're walking over to help Orena. Could you make me a strength check as you're walking over?
13.
13 meets it. I know. Yeah, it beats. Yeah, it was 12, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yep.
So you go over to that, and could you both then make me strength checks to make sure that you spin this statue?
11.
Okay, absolutely. What way are you spinning it?
Which way did you say first?
So we're going right.
Going right, fantastic. As you spin the statue, it clicks into place. The sand stops filling the room, and somehow starts to disappear, almost as if though there are little grates in the floor, and the sand has just started to unfill the room and empty. With that click and final click into place of the statues, you see the beam of light bounce across from each of the statues and land in the centre. As it hits that centre, there is a rumbling in that room. At this point, with you two up here, could you make me Constitution saving throws, please? 17?
15.
15. Okay. The plates that you are standing on dip, and you now then slide into the room that has these people in. But you don't take any damage at all. It's just to make sure that you are okay with everything going on, and that you didn't just bash your head against the wall. You slidden down, and you meet everybody in here. Our paladin is covered in sand, and this stone sort of like rectangular tomb / statuesque kind of thing. You see it starts to shake, and it starts to rumble. And as it starts to rumble, you start to see that it is starting to raise something from the centre of it. And in the centre of it is almost like a metallic, I'm going to say jailed cage. It's probably the best way I can describe it. And with that jailed cage, could you someone make me an Arcana check, please?
Should be you.
What's your
Yeah.
Arcana?
Shouldn't be me.
Should be you.
It should,
anyone.
but 9.
Can I have a go?
Go for it, Witch.
I didn't realise I was +5. 15.
15.
That's much better.
You get a sense that this stone is what the
Little man was on about.
little man was on about.
Yeah.
You don't get a good feeling from this stone. This feeling is rather negative. You see a shiny stone. Something magical about it. Don't get as much of the read of it than our resident witch, but I'm assuming you would share this information.
Oh, I'll start panicking.
Yeah? Start
Yeah.
panicking. So with the stone that's just kind of risen from this thing and it's in this jailed cage, it is, I'm going to say, amber in its colour, emanating what feels to be like a whitish light. Octavia, could you make me a history check, please?
18.
18.
Yes.
You get a feeling that you have felt this energy before, and your side starts to warm. You all hear a click in this room. The cage of the stone opens.
Very clicky temple, this. Isn't
Very
it?
clicky.
Very
It's like proper Indiana Jones style, right?
Oh, is there a boulder? Do we get to run away from a boulder?
There was a boulder. There was a boulder.
No!
There was a boulder, and I will show you all after.
Was that what the tripwire was for?
And so you hear the click. The cage of this stone opens. I'm going to leave you with that for the moment. Sand has stopped filling the room. There is some sand left in the room. Onyx is still looking at the shiny stuff on the statues. In fact, Onyx liking shiny stuff. Oh, that one. What can I do with that? I'm want to think on that for the moment. I just need to. I'm going to pop to the loo very quickly. You have a converse while you're looking at this stone.
So what do we know about the stone?
What do you know about the stone?
Well, she's getting bad juju from it.
Oh, you notice I'm standing behind you two and I'm just
Like,
pointing at it. Fucking
She's
screaming.
clearly behind us, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, you know.
Jesus Christ, what the hell's that?
And my side has suddenly started to feel really warm.
What's up with your side?
Will you tell any of us that? Or is that just saying you?
None of you know that.
Yeah.
None of you know that. I'm just stood there like
Yeah.
Fairs.
clutching at my side.
Well, I don't know, I might be holding onto your waist, so I might feel it.
You could. If you're like, you know, standing there behind me, like shivering in your boots, I suppose. You could say that you feel the heat radiating from my side.
But I think this is time to fight.
It could be a time to fight. It could be a time to fight. So like obviously you're telling us, I guess, like what is that thing?
Yeah.
You're
I'm just gonna
obviously shit scared, and Octavia turns around and says, "I felt this before."
Okay.
You all alive?
Yes.
Who did something stupid?
Not me, actually.
Surprisingly.
Not me.
Okay. You don't know what the definition of stupid is, really, in this world. Okay, sorry. So, anything to catch up on there? What was?
No, just the fact that, like I say, it's coming up. I'm going to dive behind these two and basically point and scream about this ain't good, this ain't good.
Okay.
And because obviously Morrigan's hiding behind us, she can feel the heat radiating from my side.
Mhm. Okay.
Doesn't question on it as of yet.
Okay. Damien, can you make me a history check, please?
Here. Don't ask me. It's in that one.
In fact, could you make me a Constitution saving throw on that nat one?
Oh
no.
god. Oh god. Oh, that's fine. 18.
18.
That's a lot better.
That was close. Okay, so with the history check being the 1, you start to hear voices again. You can't hear what it's saying. You just hear once again the mumblings in your head. And the Constitution saving throw was because this voice is starting to cause somewhat of a pain in your head. And that's it at the moment. But it's just all of a sudden become prominent since this stone has risen from the ground, or risen from its tomb. Onyx with a nat 1 though.
Oh no.
Which was right there. Sees the shiny rock, and being the rogue, she's going to use her sleight of hand skills to go for this rock.
Can one of us just grab her?
She takes it.
Oh no! Put it back!
She takes the rock.
Where's the boulder?
There's no boulder.
Oh.
The tomb starts to retract. The whole tomb starts to sink into the ground. As the whole tomb sinks into the ground, there is a light that all of a sudden appears over all of your heads. You can see daylight.
Jesus.
And a ladder has manifested itself down. It is a way out.
Get the fuck out.
And you can hear, in fact, make me a perception check, everybody.
15.
15,
15.
15, 23,
16.
16,
8.
Oh, come on!
Always one.
20.
almost. Right, 2 more 8s in a row, remember? I'm still remembering the 3 8 thing, right? If anyone rolls 3 8s in a row.
Just
I thought that was just for me.
No, it's anyone.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Alright,
yeah.
I'm even more happy with that.
So there was a time when there was 8s that
It
were
was
just
me.
constantly being
I
rolled.
just kept rolling 8s.
And I now need to know if there's any 8s on the bounce that are rolled Something may happen.
I'm sorry for whatever may happen.
So with the perception checks and you hearing, you can hear
The drumming.
the drumming again.
It's the little man and his people.
It's the YMCA people. Let's rock and roll. So you would know that that is what feels like somewhat safe, knowing that you know where that is if you head up this ladder. Is there anything else you wish to do?
No, the
Before.
fucking temple's sinking.
No, the tomb
Oh, the tomb.
that was holding the stone is
Ah.
sinking into the ground, almost like as though it was risen and it is now retracted back into its former place.
Let's do the usual D&D stuff. Anything around in the room to steal?
Investigation, perception,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, liberate.
Maybe not. I got a 7.
a 7. Maybe 7 seems to be the number this evening.
Yeah.
22.
22. Excellent.
16,
Okay.
yeah.
16. Okay. Okay. With that, I would say as the, in fact, 22. Let's do the 16 first. Is anyone else doing anything over there? Sorry.
I mean, I was just gonna have a look, but I can't see anything.
I mean, I've
You got
got,
Zoom in,
I
so.
got 13.
13. Okay. I would say whilst you're here, this tomb is like I wouldn't say it feels like a sacrificial chamber, but it's almost like a place where stuff was stored. So there is a mixture of old coins that have been donated through or kept in this secret island.
I mean,
None of it really looks like you would know what it is. It's all sacred to this area.
we've already got one item of bad juju. I don't think we need any more.
Any wine?
Any
Wine.
potatoes?
Any offered wine? Yeah.
I'll tell you what, as this is the room of, let's say, homage, as we've gone
Of course.
into,
Yeah.
make me another perception check. 'Cause I know you got 16.
Oh, you. 11.
Alright. I'd say with your 16 when you was looking around, if you
Yeah.
were specifically looking for bottles, you would notice that there was, in between where, let's say the 2 statues on that side of the wall and the 2 statues this side of the wall, on this side where there was statue 1 and 2, you saw a table and you would notice that there were bottles on there, rather dusty. You don't know what's in them, but they are there on the table.
Cool. I'm going to take a couple.
Take a couple?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I'd worry too much about it and just.
Okay.
Neck it. Just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just take a couple bottles and
Yeah.
just pop them in your
It's
bag.
got super tea, then yeah. Brilliant.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say you take 2 bottles, 1 green, 1 blue, both very dusty
Cool.
with corks in the top of unknown substance.
Yep.
With the 22, sorry, there was the 7. You see the stuff moving in the floor. You see the same bottles and things that you've seen the witch go over to and take. As the righteous paladin, would you agree with that?
No, but I can't exactly stop her.
Paladin's always stolen something herself. Oh, what? Who? What?
Which fucking witch said that?
And I'm going to point at her.
Ouch. Ouch. Did you both make any perception or investigation checks? Or
I got 13.
you got 13? Sorry, you did. Yes, you got 13. And
I did not, but I can.
no, okay, no. If you didn't want to, that's fine. 13. You see a similar table. You also see a similar table on the other side. Similar kind of outlay. There's a few kind of like monuments or artifacts that have kind of been popped up there. Maybe a few scrolls of paper that have been wrapped up. This was a place of storage. Not only storage, but homage to whatever it is that these guys put down here. The 22. Could you make me an Arcana check to go with that as well, please? 10. Okay.
Sorry, 7.
7. Okay. Whereabouts are you looking?
I don't know, just sort of like maybe at one of the statues.
Okay. So with the 22, I would say you have kind of instinctively gone to all these statues, and you would have figured out that this was kind of like a... I'm assuming the group would have told you what they've done with these statues.
Yeah.
Or Onyx would have done anyway, by saying that, oh, we've managed to move these statues and we've turned them around, the light beamed off of it and it poked around. And with the 22, you're looking at all these statues and you figure out the pattern that the light followed into the middle. And in the middle of the what was the raised tomb, and it has now fallen to the ground, you see a symbol that you would know if that information was shared. It has the symbol which looks like, let me just draw it so I can remember it again. Would you have shared that information from the medallion on the tree with everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
So
Did
you would,
anyone write it in their notes at all?
Maybe. Maybe.
so I'm going to...
Because I've wrote here that it's the medallion of the Ashen Choir.
Yeah, I think that's the bit that was shared about that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got it in your notes, I must have said something about it.
Yeah.
Sure. Then I would say on the floor, you would have seen a carving of that symbol in the floor, which was on the back of the medallion that was retrieved from the mystical magical tree that you weren't here to battle or spray with water. And then...
What's the symbol again?
Oh, sorry. Somewhat like this. I do have an image to share. Once I, it's like an A with, it goes across, and there's like what seems to be like a crucifix symbol that comes out the side, and then the C that kind of goes from the centre. Knowing that our paladin would have shared that information with everybody, you would have known that that was that symbol. The Arcana check with a 10, you can kind of feel that it feels as though that there's some kind of residue magic. Maybe not. Are you attuned to any kind of magic? Are you?
You are.
So you would get a feeling that this was purposely put here for a reason, and that's all. That you just kind of feel that it was purposeful that this was here. You don't get any kind of read on what magic it was, but you just know that it was purposeful, and maybe the witch would have shared the negative effects after running around and jumping behind these two.
Oh yeah.
This is
Hard to
this
miss.
doesn't feel good.
Just put it this way, hard to miss.
Hard to miss. Running around in a broomstick.
So cliche.
And as well as that, I would say that you also see under the table that there is a small chest. Kind of amongst the rubble, because it was a 22, right? So I would say you can see there is a small chest ready. It's got a bit of dust on it.
Yeah.
But there's a small chest under the table.
Well, I'm going to go to the chest.
She's going to go to the chest. Are you going to open it?
Yeah.
Of course you are. Maybe a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
17.
17. As you open the chest, because it's been down here such a long time, you get a gust of dust just pop out in your face. And there is a small leather pouch.
Well, I'm going to obviously see what's in the small leather pouch.
There is what seems to be the makings of a syringe
Ooh.
with a red liquid inside it.
Thank God, I thought he was a junkie. No wonder they've buried him.
Maybe don't drink those bottles that you took. It could be
Oh.
someone's bodily
No,
fluids.
no, no. You've got your red syringe. Just keep it handy. Watch me.
Those bottles could be like people's bodily fluids. And like
Or body
organs.
parts.
Or body parts in fluid.
Or grenadine syrup, who
It's a-
knows?
It's a risk she's willing to take.
Whatever floats your boat.
Okay, that was it. Was in the chest, other than a bunch of dust. And that's it. Anyone else doing anything while they're down here? Ransacking through bottles of potential bodily fluid, or
Not really, no. I
getting
think I'm
high on
good.
really dusty old needles?
I think I'm good. I'm going to make a move for the ladder.
Sure. Make a move for ladder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could everyone roll me a, let's just say, athletics, strength, or acrobatics? Let's see if you can get up this ladder. Because it's a rickety old ladder.
8.
Nat 20.
That's funny. The cleric's flying up there.
22, not 20.
20, oh, hell yeah. So you used to are like racing up.
How high up is it?
I'm going to say about 30 to 40 feet.
Oh, 19.
19. Sure.
30 feet, you said?
Yeah. Between 30 and 40 feet is roughly.
Go on, jump.
I was going to say, it might be a bit too far from my echo because I rolled a nat 1, so I can't jump that.
I would say, I could tell you what, if these nat 20s, or these 20s and pluses that got you, could one of you maybe make either a sleight of hand as a reaction to try and grab our fighter who's fallen off this ladder?
I'm going to do one better. Oh, no, Christ. Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Would you accept me using magic hand with the fighter? The magic hand can't grab her because you're too heavy, only can so much. But the magic hand could pull her hand back to the ladder, maybe,
Push her.
or push her up. Just basically, I don't want to say it, slap her back against a ladder. It's possible.
bitch slap
I'm
her
sorry,
against
it's
the
the
wall.
only way I can think of saving you. It's the only way I can contribute, alright?
Okay. Yeah, why not? However, I'm going to ask you both to roll a d20.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens on the outcome.
19.
13.
Yeah, alright. Sure. So, as you kind of slip as you're going up the ladder, you feel this sudden back on, and you manage to get your grip, and then, yeah, you're all headed up to the top, and then you peer over. Obviously, Onyx doesn't need to climb the ladder, she flies up. So she's all good, she's up there, floated up, didn't care about any of you, she's up there. With her shiny new rock. As you all leave the hole in the ground, the whole tribe are there. These people with spears, still kind of, they're still holding it as you all kind of came out. And as you, I even have a drawing of the actual rock where it was in its little crystal as well. So, Hakuwe is kind of waiting there for you. And as Onyx is probably, I would say, one of the first people out. I'm going to say she's holding this rock, and she's going to hand this rock over. As she tries to hand this rock over, you can see Hakuwe. He does not want to hold this. This is the whole reason he can't.
This is a curse, isn't it?
They have not been able to enter their temple of solitude for this reason. So he is going to stand back. All of his tribe are they're on their back foot, but they do not want that rock anywhere near him. He's going to ask Onyx to hold on to this rock. It's not causing any harm to Onyx at this moment in time, so Onyx is going to put this in a small backpack, and he's going to thank you because his tribe have started to enter the temple. You can hear in the background the sudden remnants of the clicks. You can almost hear like they're being put back into place after this ordeal that you have just gone through. And a few members of this tribe have gone down the stairs, and you can suddenly just hear like and they're putting everything back the way that it was. This was their temple. This is their sacred place. Could someone make me In fact, after you've come out, the tribesman, obviously at a distance because he doesn't want to be anywhere near this rock, he presents Jurixa with her sea beast. He is happy to see you, and he is all well. Could you all make me just, in fact, the witch first, could you make me a perception check?
17.
You smell potatoes. Being cooked around a ginormous kind of pot at the time, and they're all going to offer you sustenance for obviously ridding this temple of what is essentially a curse. Would you accept these bowls of potato soup that have been cooked by these tribesmen?
Could eat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So they hand you all a bowl of potato soup, and if you take it, please roll yourself 2d4 worth of healing. It's very magical. This soup is awesome. It's nice.
Not having it.
No,
No.
you're not having it.
Not having it. I'm gonna sit there.
Having a tantrum.
What happens if
yeah.
you have it but you don't have any damage?
2d4.
2d4. You enjoy a really nice bowl of potato soup.
Yeah.
Right, I'm enjoying a really nice bowl
Hell
of
yeah.
potato soup.
Next to your sea beast, who's also probably trying to sniff at your bowl and trying to get some more.
You can have mine.
Okay. So the witch hands over the bowl. The Hakewu is Hakewi is going to pull the paladin aside, and because he feels that he's grown to at least trust your judgment, and obviously thank you for your. He wants to thank you and the party, but he's just addressing you for helping them now feel at peace. They now feel that this is now gone. He's asking you if you please could get this stone away from the island. It was the people that were here before that placed this rock in this temple. We don't want to see this rock anymore. And he casts his hand out, not in a way to hurt or damage or cause any pain. He tries to sense an aura around you. Would you allow that to happen? Whilst
I'm gonna be like yes, but no. Like my
humming.
guard is up.
Okay.
Because I don't know what
Sure.
he's doing, but
Okay.
I sort of let him like see what he's got to see.
Okay. As he's doing this, he's like crushing what seems to be like a flower of some sorts in his hands, and he's kind of humming as he's kind of going like that, and then he kind of just nods to you, but with a small squint in his eyes, for he senses something. It's not quite right. He doesn't say anything. As you can kind of see, you're a bit tense. He's just kind of, sent you down into a temple, so he kind of retracts, rubbing his hand, claps his hands together, and then offers his hand to shake yours. Do you shake it?
Yes.
Okay. As you shake his hand, this flower kind of rubs off on you, and he speaks a word that you wouldn't know, but it means of good graces and of good Godspeed. And then he grabs it as he shakes your hand. He grabs yours and he bows to say thank you. And then he goes, "Please enjoy. We will protect the land if there is anything else." Whilst you're all having this bowl of nothing or soup around with the tribes people, is there anything that you would like to do at this moment in time? I'm going to say, in fact,
Shake the sand out of my boots.
shake the sand out your boots. Okay. Onyx has just got the bowl that's like this, obviously to Onyx, and has just gone. She rolled a 6. The closer to 1, it was going to go everywhere. So apologies, Alice. She's enjoyed that soup as well. I would say this: it's been quite a day for you all. It's quite a challenge. As you're all sitting down and enjoying this soup, could you all make me a perception check, please?
Ooh, 18.
Nice.
15.
15.
What did you get?
7.
19.
19.
16.
16. You're happy you've got your beast back, right? So you're not really paying much attention to anything else, but you do feel a slight rumbling on the ground. With those that got, what was the lowest number? It was
Put what,
15.
15. 15
yours
upwards.
was 15.
Fantastic. Okay, that's good. That's very good. It's still, I'm going to say it's still the middle of the afternoon, so it's still quite a bright day out there. But there's a slight rumbling on the ground. The tribespeople have dropped their spears. The sky begins to go dark.
Oh no.
The tribespeople fall to their knees in prayer or have fled and or ran. The tribe leader has shouted not again, and as you look up and you see a beam of light come from what looks to be the cosmos of space and directly a fully direct beam onto the ground, far from where you are but within your vision, and has trembled the ground. And with that, we are going to close the session there. Da, 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 da. There you have it.
Beautiful. I quite enjoyed that, I did. I actually got some decent rolls, I'd say.
Yeah, well done.
Somewhat decent.
A little bit of help.
And I'll show you. So this was the temple that I had very poorly drawn,
Beautiful.
and then this was the map
Oh my god!
that you all had to go through. And so just so that you had it, it was left, which was the sun,
Yeah.
and then there was going to be spikes if you'd have chosen this one that come up from the floor with some deck saves. So the middle did in fact solve the riddle, and you went round, and then it was the middle again. There was the boulder. Had you gone where the skeleton guy was, and there was going to be a gaseous poisonous gas that would have come out from the left one, or the right one, sorry. So you went across there, and then there was the bridge where I'd marked the broken ones had you clicked the wrong door. If you had clicked the right door, they would all been there and they'd all been fine, and you wouldn't have had to make anywhere near as many athletics checks as you did. And then there was the lift with the 2 plates that you went down into the room that had the left, right, left as you went round. That unlocked the little cage at the bottom, which had the crystal at the bottom with
Good work.
the cage. So
Oh, that was really good. That was really good.
So why was it a caterpillar, or was that just
Yeah,
random?
why a caterpillar?
I'll tell you why. Because my son was there last night and he said, I'm going to make that the caterpillar door.
Right, there we
Oh,
go.
I'll give it. Yeah, that is very
And-
fair. Very fair.
And you didn't trip up the wire. However, I was going to plug it in case he was because he wanted to know. There was going to be a piano that fell because he'd drawn a piano,
Great
and
stuff.
the save would have been an 18 to make sure that you can get out of the way of the piano.
Oh my god!
And I'm
I'm
so glad.
I poked my fucking head out of that lift.
So
You two were about to be like, yeah.
and I had the symbols for the order of the door. So I had the sun, the moon,
Oh,
and
you
the
gave
star.
me
That's what it was in. But I
Yeah.
put a 1 for the moon, the 2 for
I
the
gave
star,
you
3 for the sun. So you had it in the right way. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Cool.
I did that last minute, last night, thinking, yeah, they need to do something with this one. So
That's great. No, that's great, mate.
excellent, excellent. Love it, absolutely love it. Thanks, Alice. I know you've been watching, so thank you for joining. And sorry if I made your character make poor decisions, but you did roll a nat 20, which was great, and then also followed by a nat 1, which it could have been worse,
Yeah.
somewhat. But anyway, thanks.